Hey guys, it's Hogan here, and in this video, we're going to be reviewing WPX Hosting. So WPX Hosting, you may not actually have heard of it because it's not quite as well known as other web hosting providers like Bluehost, HostGator, SiteGround, or Hostinger, but they're actually one of the highest rated on Trustpilot with a score of 4.9. So that is actually very, very high compared to other hosting providers. So we're basically going to take a look at their features, their benefits, their pricing, and also take a look at their platform and how it all works to see whether or not WPX is for you or not for you. So WPX actually starts at from around $25 per month, right? After the first sort of promotional period. So they're actually running this promotion 75% off for the first 3 months until July 18th. But, you know, as you guys know, like web hosting companies will, most of the time will sort of extend that. So I'm actually not quite sure if they will extend that or not, but generally they start at around $25 per month. So it's definitely not the cheapest web host out there, but it's also not the most expensive. So it's sort of mid-range. If you actually compare it to like Bluehost or HostGator, SiteGround, Hostinger, those ones start from around $3 to $5 per month for the first sort of promotional period that you sign up for. And generally they renew at double that amount. So it's still about half the price of WPX, right? But with WPX, you get up to 5 websites only. So with other hosting plans, like shared hosting plans, like Bluehost, generally it's like the first basic plan is 1 website, and then you get unlimited websites. Same with like HostGator, SiteGround, and Hostinger, as well as like NameHero as well. That's generally how it works with these popular hosting companies, but WPX, you do actually get a limit. So I think that's a good thing, but also a bad thing at the same time. So a good thing is that, you know, because they limit the number of websites, that means that the performance is going to be good. So WPX is shared hosting, but sort of really powerful shared hosting because they do limit the number of websites on those servers, as well as they use really powerful servers as well. So if you actually compare it to sort of similar priced hosting providers over here, like Kinsta, you know, their starter plan starts from around $35 per month with a very similar offering as well, like 1 WordPress installation though, with around 25,000 visits, 10 gigabytes of disk space, free SSL, CDN, staging, and migrations. Same thing on WP Engine. So this one actually starts at $20 per month for the first year, but it renews at around $25 per month, which is same as WPX, and this is for 1 website. So on one hand, it compares quite well to these hosting providers, but because they do have the limitation of websites, then, you know, that's something to take note of as well. So here they get 10 gigabytes of storage, which is similar to other hosting providers. They also have 100 gigabytes of bandwidth, so they don't actually state the number of visitors that plan can actually handle, but it's actually fairly similar to what you get on Kinsta and WP Engine, right? So how we actually calculate the bandwidth is basically you do the number of visitors per month. So let's just say, for example, you get 1,000 visitors per day, times that by 30, which is 30,000 unique visitors per month. And then you need to times the average page views. So something like Neil Patel on the blog, they get around 3.7 pages per visitor, right? So that is probably a little bit high because they do have a SEO tool, so people will click around and things like that. So something like Smart Passive Income blog, you get around 2.9 pages per visit. So let's just do like on average 3 pages per visitor, okay? And then you times the average page size. So something like the Neil Patel blog on that page was about 1.5 megabytes. So you do like 1.5 times that, so it equals 135,000 megabytes. So if you divide that by 1,000, it equals around 135 gigabytes for bandwidth. So that's around 30,000 visitors. So it's probably safe to say it's around 25,000 visitors that it can handle on average, right? So this one would be double that, around 50K or more. But they do also have the content delivery network, which is going to really help with your bandwidth. So it is probably going to be more visitors that it can actually handle. And this one has unlimited bandwidth as well. So something that's a lot of regular shared hosting companies don't offer is the malware removal. So they do offer that. Generally, if you do get like malware removal, you have to get from third party, and it costs between like $100 to maybe $200 per year. So since you actually get that for free, that is amazing value already. Because let's say if you, for example, you get you have one website and you spend maybe, let's just say $120 per year. With here, since you get it for 5 websites, then it's a great deal, right? So if you do 120 times 5 websites, that's going to be like $600 per year already. So you do have that included, and that's really awesome. And what's really awesome is that even if you have malware already on your current hosting provider and you're moving to WPX, they'll also take care of that for you, right? So that is really, really awesome. I do believe WP Engine and Kinsta, they want you to actually take care of that yourself first before transferring that to their website, and then they will actually accept it, right? So they also have a 30-second average support response. So this is basically the live chats over here. And I've actually tested a lot of web hosting companies, and this one is the fastest. You can actually go here and test it out yourself and chat to them and ask them any questions. But where WPX is sort of different is that WPX is very, very simple in terms of what they actually offer. So they just offer WordPress hosting, and they have 3 different plans, and that's pretty much it. So with a lot of web hosting companies, they generally offer like shared hosting, VPS hosting, cloud hosting, dedicated hosting, cPanel hosting, and they have a lot of different services for different types of customers. So that's basically going to add to the complexity of their business, as well as going to impact the customer support. So if you look at, other hosting companies, and maybe it might say the customer support is really good. Yes, like in some cases, but with WPX, because, their service is so simple, then they're probably going to have a more personalized as well as fast customer support, and you're more likely able to get that on a very consistent basis, right? Because they serve a very specific customer, and they don't have too many services as well. Over here, they do offer the free fixes if your site is offline. So that is generally pretty standard across most web hosting companies, because obviously if your site is offline, then they'll help you bring it back online. Otherwise, you're probably gonna hate it and then move to another web host anyway. So that is pretty standard, but they do offer free site speed optimization. So that is an added extra, but their site speed is actually really fast already. So if you go to the website, they also advertise as the fastest WordPress hosting. You can actually go and look at the independent test as well if you click on this link. But I actually tested out myself. I also tested other web hosting providers like NameHero, Kinsta. So they're actually faster than Kinsta by quite a lot. Cloudways. Also tested like HostGator, Hostinger, SiteGround, Bluehost, Namecheap, and GoDaddy, and things like that as well. And they actually turned out to be the fastest, right? So I actually tested this page over here. So this was just like a static WordPress page. So it wasn't like a WooCommerce checkout test or a dynamic website testing. But for a static page, it loaded on average 1.08 seconds. So that is a lot faster than a lot of other hosting providers, especially the cheaper ones. But you do have to take into consideration their pricing is $25 per month. But if you actually compare it to Kinsta, they're much faster than Kinsta, right, from my test. So they also have the CDN as well, which they've built. And if you actually enable that, that actually makes your website even faster. So basically with the CDN, basically means the content delivery network. And what happens is that, let's say for example, your data center or your server is originally in the United States and you have customers in Asia, then your website can actually be cached or saved in these CDN locations. And then your website can actually be served from these CDNs. So the data transfer to your customer is a lot less, and it's going to be loaded a lot faster, right? So they have the custom CDN, and it's actually very, very simple to turn on as well as turn off. So this over here is their sort of dashboard. As you can see, it might be a little bit different to what you're normally used to. They don't have a cPanel, but they do have everything that you need. One thing to note is that personally, I don't really like their color scheme or the design. It just doesn't look very good. With that said, you don't really need to access your WPX panel area every day. Most likely you're just managing your WordPress website in your WordPress dashboard. But if this was like my car interior, then I probably wouldn't pick WPX, but it's not, so it's okay. So everything does work really well. So click on WPX. It's a very simple dashboard. You just turn it on and off your CDN if you do want to enable or disable that. You do have daily backups as well. You can also do on-demand backups. You have the file manager. You can access your website with FTP, as well as manage your databases over here. A really cool benefit is they do have emails included. So with other similar price web hosting companies like Kinsta, WP Engine, and Cloudways, which you might consider, those ones don't have email included. So with Cloudways, it's actually quite easy to set up, but it is an additional $1 per month per inbox. With Kinsta and WP Engine, you'd have to set it up with like a third party, maybe like on Google Email or something like that, the professional version of it. So that's going to cost extra. So it's actually very convenient that they do include that within their plans as well. You can create your emails, and you can also manage your emails with a default email client, or you can set up and connect it with your Gmail account so you can manage and send and receive emails from your Gmail inbox. So over here, they have SSD storage, which is really fast, as well as they use Lightspeed server, which is one of the fastest servers. You can also create a multi-user account. So basically, you can go over here and you can go to manage contacts. And basically what you can do is you can actually create a contact. For example, if you have a web developer, or if you have clients or something like that, and you want to give them access, their own sort of login, then you can set that up over here, which is really awesome. You've also got basically everything that you need. For example, the staging area as well. So basically the staging area is you're able to copy an exact copy of your live website, and you're able to make changes or update your themes and plugins there before you actually push it live to your live website, because sometimes with WordPress, themes and plugins might not be compatible with your WordPress version, and things are going to break, your website's going to go offline. But if you have a staging area, so for example, let's go over here. So you can click on the manage service, right? So you can easily create a staging area and sort of make updates to your website without breaking your main website. For example, over here, a staging area. And once you've done, then you can merge it to your live website. So one thing that you do have to consider or note is that it does take up one of your website's quota. So as you can see over here, right, it says up to 5 websites, but a staging area is going to take up one of those spots, right? So if you have 2 websites, each with the staging area, that's going to use 4 out of 5 websites, right? So as I said, it's a good and bad thing. Good thing is that probably going to, maintain the performance for your websites, because it's not like other shared hosting companies where you can have unlimited websites, and that's going to have a lot of performance issues. Because they limit it, then it's going to be much better in terms of consistency with your speed and things like that. Okay, so, do I like WPX, and is it worth the money? I think it is for a very specific type of customer. So I think if you're creating your first website or your first blog, you're just starting out, then I don't think it's worth it, because it's quite expensive. You can get something like Hostinger, which costs around $2 to $3 per month to actually get started, right? So it's actually very, very affordable. WPX starts at $25 per month. So I think if it's your first website, then no. And also, if you're a web agency, then I would probably think Cloudways is probably a better option, mainly because with Cloudways, you can set up servers in different locations. They have more server locations, as well as you have more overall control in Cloudways. You can create different servers, and you don't have a limit on the number of websites. You sort of are also able to, increase your resources that you need, or scale down your resources because they use cloud hosting. So, and maybe if I was like a high traffic e-commerce website, or like a dynamic type of website, like for example, a learning management system like Udemy, then I probably would consider Cloudways or something else, because you can scale up and down with cloud hosting. So they're actually using shared hosting. So yeah, it is a little bit different if you're creating an e-commerce type of website. And also, I would probably not go for them if I was like a enterprise level company, like maybe like a bank or insurance company. You may want to take a look at Kinsta. And it's actually something they said in an article, I can't remember what it was, but they said they actually focus in on like solo entrepreneurs, bloggers, and maybe small business type of websites. So again, if you're like a blogger and you want to upgrade from Bluehost or HostGator, SiteGround, and you want to see like a very significant speed increase and better customer support with everything that you need, then I think it's definitely a great option to upgrade into. And yeah, so I think that is pretty much it. And maybe if you're like a small business owner with sort of like steady traffic, then I think it's a pretty good option as well, because they include everything, including email as well. And there's not too much complexity in setting it up. Basically, that's it for my review. Now, in terms of which plan to actually select, then probably you may need to look at, how many websites you want to host. So I'm actually not quite sure how long this promotion is going to last, but I'll leave my discount link in the description below, as well as my coupon code, which is going to help you save some money as well. So here, you do want to take a look at the bandwidth. You can actually go on Google, you can type in WPX bandwidth calculator, should take you to this page over here, and you can do a simple calculation. So for example, your average page size is maybe 2 megabytes, or let's just do, 1.5, let's just do 30,000 visitors, average page views per visitor, calculate your bandwidth, and you can see basically which plan is for you, right? So generally over here, it does recommend the elite plan, 132. I would probably say you probably don't need that. You probably could go with the business plan and see how you go, especially once you actually activate the CDN. So you can click on buy now. And let's say, for example, you have a website already, or you have purchased your domain name from somewhere like Namecheap or GoDaddy, then you can put your domain name into here and click on continue. You can also purchase a domain name here. Now, if you do want to get WPX for your first website, then you're more than welcome to. So you can pick your domain extension over here. So for example, sometimes it might not show the one that you want. For example, like .com.au, you might need to purchase from like Namecheap. But what's really good is that they actually include the free domain privacy forever. So basically that's going to hide your personal information from people who are trying to market to you, because if you're starting a website, you probably get a lot of like marketing emails because they know you're starting a new business. But yeah, so they get the free domain privacy and you can purchase it through here. So let's just say, for example, you put your website in, continue, and you can purchase. And once you've actually purchased the service, then you can request a migration from the team. And so you click on migrations, and the migration is going to be completed within 24 hours. And then you can get started with your website and things like that. So if you do need any help, then you can contact their customer support. They're going to be, very, very responsive. And yeah, if you have any questions, drop it in the comment section down below. Hopefully this video has helped you guys make the right decision. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. See you guys in the next video. Thanks.